Hey everybody, Mac here. Welcome back to the show. What we are taking a look at today is the Fortnite Legendary Series Havok. And no, this is not Fortnite by McFarlane Toys. This is Fortnite by Jazwares. There's actually two companies putting out Fortnite figures right now, McFarlane Toys and Jazwares. Jazwares is coming in at the 6-inch scale. McFarlane Toys obviously is coming in at the 7-inch scale. What we have here today is the one by Jazwares. It's supposed to be a 6-inch scale figure. We'll see how he actually measures up once we get him out of his box. And I gotta say, I love Jazwares' approach to boxing this figure. I love how just the whole thing is just a big window. You have a little bit of personalized art down here for the figure. I believe this is the character from the video game. I believe this is a video game shot. On the side, very minimalistic, but also very eye-catching, that you can just see everything in the package that you get with Havok. Around the back, we have a big picture of the figure inside. Once again, I believe this is a video game still. And then we have some cross-sell with the Visitor, the Skull Trooper, Wildcard, Rabbit Raider, and the Enforcer. More dropping soon, and there are much more figures than this. I don't know who most of these people are, but they look really cool. The Visitor I was actually looking for. I was thinking about getting him too, but I haven't been able to find him. So, let's get him open, and we will take a look at Jazwares Fortnite Legendary Series Havok. Alright friends, here he is, Havok, out of the box, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put the tape measure to him, and we're going to see how he measures up compared to some of our other 6-inch figures. And by putting the tape measure right up front, we see that Havok is just a little bit over 6 inches tall. So he is at that 6-inch scale, almost dead on that 6-inch scale, maybe about 6 1/8, 6 1/4, somewhere in there. Now, articulation. We're going to have a lot to talk about with this guy because there's some stuff that I really like and there's some stuff, at least one thing specifically, that I really don't like. But before we get to that, let's get to the articulation of this figure. And we'll start at the top with the head. He does have head swivel. He can't do a full 360 turn to the side and to the side. He does have up and down, as you can see. Arms are ratcheted and they go out to the sides. Full 360 spin. He's very stiff right now. Has a little bit of a butterfly pivot in the shoulder. Bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows, which I always love. Wrist swivel. And a little bit of pivot. Oh, actually a lot of pivot. Decent amount of pivot. He has an ab crunch, as you can see. Forward and back. A little bit of a side to side. Not much, but that's okay because he does have a waist twist as well, which once again is very stiff on this character, on this figure. Not so much to the point that I think it's going to break, it's just something that needs to be broken in. Legs, that far forward, not so much back. Double jointed knees. Thigh swivel. Boot cut. Little bit ankle back a lot, forward not as much. And he also has toe articulation, which, it's cool. It's there. Sometimes I feel like they put toe articulation in just to say, hey, look, we have an extra point of articulation. And now one other area of articulation. He has finger articulation. Let's bring him up closer so you can see. Whoop. This finger articulates a little bit independently from the rest of the hand, and it opens and closes. Now, there are some people that really like that. I, for one, do not, because it does not make it easy for him to hold his accessories with finger articulation. I would rather he just had molded hands, and you just have to pry them open a little to get his accessories and his weapons in there, because he can't get a really solid grip on them, and we'll take a look at his accessories in a second. First of all, let's talk about the sculpt of this figure. Let's talk about the heft of this figure. There's actually more weight to this than I was expecting when I got him. I thought he was going to be a little hollow. I didn't think he was going to be quite as solid as he actually feels. He actually He feels good. He feels about this, like, well, he feels like a Hasbro figure, to be completely honest. Feels solid like a Hasbro figure. Feels like the G.I. Joe classified figures that I've been showing you over the past couple weekends. And I like that. I also like his paint deco. I like how he's not clean. He has some dirt going on here on his camo pattern. Let's see if you can see that. Like right in here on his arm. It looks like he's seen some action, and this suit has seen some wear and tear. I really like that. The sculpt on him, I think, is pretty decent. I mean, it's nothing to, like, wow you, but it's not a complex sculpt either. I really like the boots. The boots are chunky. The boots look like combat boots. He even has this great tread on the bottom, along with peg holes for a figure stand. Really like his knee pads, and they do a great job of hiding his articulation in his legs. All in all, I think this is really great. I love the face on him. Let's set him down and raise this up so we can take a look. I like the paint on his eyes and his eyebrows. I think that's really good. This bandolier that he wears. On the back, we have more dirt here along with his fur collar. I just think this is a really great paint app, and I really like how they made him look weathered and worn and like he's seen some combat. He's not pristine. He's not clean. Now we take a look at some of his accessories, and the first thing we're going to pull out is his weapons. And we're going to start with this big thing. Some sort of melee weapon. Looks like some giant mutated fire axe, to be completely honest. Like, he could do some serious damage with this thing. It's obviously a two-handed melee weapon. It looks like it would be heavy. It looks like it's predominantly made of iron. And it looks great in his hand. It's very unique. And I really like the look of it. The next thing we have is his machine gun here. And while I like the look of the weapon, I like the paint app on it. I like how it, too, has a little bit of weathering, especially here in the clip and the handle. He has this strap wrapped around the stock, which is probably a collapsing stock. He could pull that out if he wanted to. Like his uniform, this looks like it's seen some action, but the problem is that because of those articulating hands, he can't really get a decent grip on this thing. And that is disappointing, because this is a great weapon, and Havok is a great figure, and it would look really cool to get him in some really good poses with this, but you just really can't get a secure grip on it. Something else that he has here is his backpack. You can see Havok is obviously a demolitions expert, with that big smiling bomb across the top. Probably some C4 packed in here, and another bomb here on the side. And that fits in back just with a peg hole, as you can see right there. Just like a Hasbro figure, just like the G.I. Joe figures. And the straps on his shoulders right here actually are made to look like the straps of his backpack for when he's wearing it. And I think that's a really cool touch. A lot of times figures don't have those backpack straps, and I really like that. Two other things that we have here are these two containers. And I don't know what they're supposed to be, to be completely honest. I'm guessing it's some sort of explosive device. I'm assuming that's what this can be used for. You can hold one. There's a slot here in this blue one, you see right there, that I don't know if this is made to fit on the backpack somewhere, if it's made to fit on his weapon or the axe somehow, or if it's just a way for him to hold on to it. I'm not entirely sure. Because in-game, I don't know what this is. Maybe if I knew. If anybody knows what this is supposed to be, or how it's supposed to fit on him, or if it just has something there for him to grip so he can hold on to it, that's a possibility too. And then finally, we have these. Jazwares does not give you additional heads with these figures. They give you additional faces, so you don't have to keep popping the head off every time you want to change them. What you do, in case you haven't seen this before, you just put his chin up. Let's see if we can focus in on that. Put his chin up, and it just pops right off. And then you can put this other face on him. And it's as easy as that. And I actually like this way better than having to pull the entire head off and popping a new one on. I would like to see more stuff like these on other figures. I think that's really easy, really convenient. Yes, true, you might lose these, but I feel like this is a much more efficient way than having to pop the head off of a ball joint every time you want to put it on. He has three faces. His normal one here, his mask up, and then this one with wide-eyed astonishment. Let's put that one on. That makes it look like this job has gone really south, really fast. So I picked this figure up, not because I'm a Fortnite player. I am not a Fortnite player. Let's swap his face. So I don't know what Havok's deal is. I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy. I don't know anything about him. And the reason I bought him is because, quite honestly, of G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe had a figure in the vintage line that was called Firefly. He was a demolitions expert. He was a Cobra agent. And they came out with a Firefly this year, or this past year rather, that was a Cobra Island Target exclusive, and he was really hard to find. As a matter of fact, you can't find him on the shelf anymore. You can only find him on the secondary market. And on the secondary market, he has come down in price. As a matter of fact, I saw the official G.I. Joe Firefly on eBay for between $30 and $35 plus shipping. So he doesn't seem like he was one of the hot sellers with the G.I. Joe Classified Target exclusives. But having said that, I had the vintage Firefly figure, and I had a very strong affinity for that figure. I really liked that figure. And I didn't really like the new look that they gave him. And I understand with Classified you have to update the look of some of these figures, these characters. But I really didn't like the new look they gave him. It just didn't speak to me. I didn't connect to it. But this guy is a dead ringer for the vintage Firefly. And I'm going to be using him for my G.I. Joe collection to stand in for Firefly. He is a little bit shorter than the other G.I. Joe figures because, as you saw, the G.I. Joe Classified are about 6.5 inches tall, between 6 and 6.5 inches, and he is just over 6 inches. So he's a little shorter, but I'm actually okay with that because in real life, not everybody is the same height. The fact is, though, he looks really good next to the rest of the Cobra agents. I really like having him as part of the collection. Someday I might get the official Firefly. Like if I see him at a convention and I get my hands on him, I might pick him up. I don't know. But right now, I am very happy and content to have Havok here stand in for my Firefly figure. So there we go, friends. That is Jazwares' Fortnite Legendary Series Havok at the 6-inch scale. I don't know if I'm going to be picking up any Fortnite characters at the 7-inch scale, the McFarlane Toys ones. I have my eye on a few Fortnite characters to fill in some of my other collections, much like how I'm using him to fill in my Cobra forces. Havok was at Walmart. I don't think you can pick him up off the shelf anymore. I think the next wave of Fortnite figures is coming out, and the previous wave has been pushed aside. But I do think you can still find him at places like Amazon. He was a $20 figure. So if you want to try and find him, I'm sure you can find him online, so good luck with that. And until next time, my friends, play well, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, thank you for watching.